Stage 10, paragraph page 861.
Mhm.
861. Okay, and our last head word
Mhm.
was
Okay.
onomatopoeia, new word type
Mhm.
of lesson.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's start with
Mhm.
our revision. Ready? Okay, here we
Okay.
go. At what time of day are the rays of the sun at their hottest as this time of year? At what time of day are the rays of the sun at their hottest at this time of year? The rays of the sun
Mhm. The rays of the
at
sun
at their hottest
at the at their hottest.
are at their hottest. Okay,
At
one more.
their
One more.
hottest.
The rays of the
Mhm.
sun
The rays of the sun
are at their hottest
are at their
at
hottest
12
at
noon
noon
at this time of year.
at this time of the year.
Very good. If a friend of yours had a fever, what would you advise them to do? If a friend of yours had a fever,
Mhm.
what would you advise them to do? If a friend of mine
If a friend of
had
mine
a fever,
had a fever,
I'd advise them to.
I'd advise them to take some medicine and go to the doctor.
Very good. Okay. Is it possible to go skiing in your country? Is it possible to go skiing in your country? Yes or no?
Yes,
It's possible
it's
to go
possible
skiing,
to skiing,
to go
to
skiing
go skiing
in my
in my
country.
to go skiing in my country.
Very good. What's your favorite sauce? What's your favorite sauce? My favorite sauce is
My favorite sauce is teriyaki sauce.
teriyaki sauce. Very good. Okay. Do women wear veils when they get married in your country? Do women wear veils when they get married in your country? Yes or no?
Mhm. Yes,
Women wear
women
veils
wear veils
when they get married
when
in my
they
country.
get married in my country.
Very good. Okay. Would you give in without a fight if a thief tried to mug you in the street? Would you give in without a fight if a
Mhm.
thief tried to mug you in the street? Yes or no?
Oh, yes,
I'd give in without
I'd
a
give
fight
in without a
if
fight
a thief tried to mug me
if a thief tried to mug me
in the street.
in the street
Very good. Okay, next. Why? Why? Because it's dangerous to fight back.
because it's dangerous to fight mug.
Very good. Okay, what's the basic meaning of the word stretch? What's the basic meaning of the word stretch? The basic meaning
The basic
of the
meaning
word stretch
of word of the word stretch
is
is
extend.
extend.
Very good. Do you stretch when you get out of bed in the morning? Do you stretch when you get out of bed in the morning? Yes or no? Yes, I
Yes,
stretch when I get
I
out of bed
stretch
in the morning.
when I get out of bed in the morning.
Very good. If someone borrowed a pullover of yours that was too small for them and they stretch it, would you be annoyed? If someone borrowed a pullover of yours that was too small for them and they stretch it, would you be annoyed? Yes or no?
Yes,
If someone
if
borrowed a
someone
pullover of mine
borrowed a
that
pullover
was
of
too
mine
small for them
that was too
and
small
they
for them
stretch it,
and then stretch it,
I'd be annoyed.
I'd be annoyed.
Very good. Okay, one moment. Let me reconnect. Okay. There you go. Okay, let's continue. So,
Mhm.
how far does the road outside your building stretch? How far
Mhm.
does the road outside your building stretch? The road
The
outside
road
my building
outside my
stretches
building
as far as
stretches as far as
next
the
town.
next town.
Very good. What do we mean by an earnest person? What do we mean by an earnest person? By an earnest person,
By a nearest
we
person,
mean someone
we mean
who's
someone
serious and
who's
sincere.
serious and sincere.
Very good. What do you do when you run short of money? What do you do when you run short of money? When I run
When
short of
I
money,
run short of money,
I.
I'd borrow money from my friend.
Very good. Okay, next. Taking things all together, do you think your town is a good place to live? Taking things all together, do you think your town is a good place to live? Yes or no?
Yes,
Taking things
taking
all
things
together,
all
I
together,
think my
I
town
think my
is a good
town is
place
a
to
good
live.
place to live.
Very good. Can you think of a film that you've seen that was altogether terrible? Can you think of a film that you've seen that was altogether terrible? Yes or no?
No,
I can't think
I
of a
can't
film
think of
that
a
I've
film
seen
that I've
that
seen
was
that
altogether
was
terrible.
altogether terrible.
Very good. What do we mean by a model airplane? What do we mean by a model airplane? By a model airplane,
By a model
we
airplane,
mean a small
we mean a
representation
small
of a
representation
real airplane.
of a real airplane.
Very good. Do top fashion models earn a lot of money? Do top fashion models earn a lot of money? Yes. Top
Yes,
fashion models, top
fashion
fashion
models,
models earn a lot of money.
earned a lot of money.
Very good. How often do car companies change their models? How often do car companies change their models? Car companies
Car
change
companies
their models
change their
about
models
once
about
every
once every three
year.
years.
Very good. Were you a model student when you were at school? Were you a model student when you were at school? Yes or no?
No,
I wasn't a model
I
student
wasn't a model
when I
student
was at
when
school.
I was at school.
Very good. What's the difference between in time and on time? What's the difference between in time and on time? The difference
The
between
difference
in time
between
and
in
on
time
time
and on
is that
time
in
is
time
that
means
in time means
before it's too late,
before it's too late,
whereas on time
whereas
means
on time
at
means
the correct or
at the
arranged
correct
time.
or arranged time.
Very good. Give me an example of the difference. Give me an example of the difference, please. Unfortunately, I didn't
Unfortunately,
arrive on
I didn't
time
arrive on
for the
time
start of the
or the
concert,
start of this concert,
but I got there in
but I
time
get there in time
to hear my favorite
to
song.
hear my favorite song.
Very good. Is there anyone you can think of in whom you have such confidence that you could trust them to keep your greatest secret? Is there anyone you can think of in whom you have such confidence that you could trust them to keep your greatest secret? Yes or no?
Yes,
There's someone I
there's
can think
someone
of
I can think
in
of
whom I have
in
such
whom
confidence.
by have confidence.
I have such
I have
confidence
such confidence
that I could trust
that
them
I could trust
to
them
keep my
to
greatest
keep
secret.
my great secret,
Greatest secret.
greatest secrets.
Very good. What do we mean when we say that someone is full of self confidence? What do we mean when we say that someone is full of self confidence? When we say
When
that
we say
someone is
that
full
someone
of self
is full of
confidence,
self
we
confidence,
mean that
we
they are
mean
sure
that they are
about
sure
themselves
about
and
themselves
their abilities.
and their abilities.
Very good. How would you feel if you spoke to somebody in confidence about something, but they then told other people what you have discussed? How would you feel if you spoke to somebody in confidence about something, but they then told other people what you have discussed? If I spoke to
If I
somebody
spoke to
in
somebody
confidence
in
about
confidence
something,
about
but
something,
they then
but
told
they then told
other people
other
what
people
I had discussed,
what I discussed,
I'd feel
I'd feel disappointed.
very good. Would you be happy if your friends organize a birthday party for you in secret? Would you be happy if your friends organize a birthday party for you in secret? Yes or no?
Yes,
I'd be happy
I'd be
if
happy
my friend
if my
organized a
friend
birthday
organized
party for
my
me
birthday party for
in
me
secret.
in secret.
Very good. What does the word drag mean? What does the word drag mean? The word
Mm.
drag
The word
means
drag
to
means
pull something
to
heavy
pull something heavily
along the ground,
along the
along the
ground,
ground,
along the ground,
often with some
often with
difficulty.
some difficulty.
Very good. Okay, give me an example of the word drag used figuratively. Give me an example of the word drag used figuratively, please. You mean to say,
You mean to
you dragged
say
me all
you
this
drag
way
me on this
just
way
to show me that.
just to show me that?
Very good. What would I mean if I said the film was quite good, but it dragged a bit in the middle? What would I mean if I said the film was quite good, but it dragged a bit in the middle? If you said the
If you
film
said
was
the
quite good,
film was quite
but
good,
it dragged a bit
but it dragged
in the
it
middle,
in the
you'd
middle,
mean that
you mean that
it was a bit slow
it was a bit
and
slow
boring in the middle.
and boring in the middle.
Very good. Okay, next. Give me an example of the word any used with the meaning of it's not important which. Give me an example of the word any used with the meaning it's not important which place. Any child can
Any
learn to
child
ride a
and
bicycle.
can learn to ride a bicycle.
Very good. Give me an example of the word some used when we're referring to a particular person. Give me an example of the word some used when we're referring to a particular person, please. Some idiot has
Some
broken
idiot
the window.
has broken the window.
Very good. Okay, next. Why is it that in a thunderstorm we first see a flash of lightning and then, after a delay of a few seconds, hear the thunder? Why is it that in a thunderstorm we first see the flash of lightning and then, after a delay of a few seconds, hear the thunder? In a
Mhm.
thunderstorm,
In a
we
thunderstorm,
first see
we
the
first
flash of
see
lightning.
the flash of the frightening,
The flash of lightning,
the flash of lightning,
and then, after a
and then,
delay of
after
a
the
few
delay
seconds,
of the few seconds,
hear the thunder.
hear the
Because
thunder,
sounds travel
because sounds
more
travels
slowly than lights.
more slowly
Than light.
than light.
Ragged. When does a camera need a flash to be able to produce a clear image? When does a camera need a flash to be able to produce a clear image? A camera
A
needs a
camera
flash
needs a
to be
flash
able to
to be
produce
able
a
to
clear
produce
image
a clear
when there
image
isn't
when there isn't
enough natural light
enough natural
or when
light,
the lights
when the lights
inside a building
inside the
aren't
building
bright enough.
aren't bright enough.
What am I doing? What am I doing? You're signaling
You are signaling
someone to stop.
someone to stop.
Wait, do you always get a good signal on your phone? Do you always get a good signal on your mobile phone? Yes or no?
Oh, yes,
I always get
I
a good
always get
signal on
a
my
good
phone.
signal on my phone.
Wait, is it easier to slide a heavy object across a river if we first put a blanket or sheet under it? Is it easier to slide a heavy object across a floor if we first put a blanket or sheet under it? Yes, it's
Yes,
easier to
it's
slide
easier
a
to
heavy
slide
object
a heavy
across a
object
floor
across a
if we
floor
first put
if we first put
a blanket or
a
sheet under
blanket
it.
or sheet under it.
Wait, have you ever actually seen anyone slip on a banana skin? Have you ever actually seen anyone slip on a banana skin? Yes or no?
Oh, no,
I've never
I've
actually
never
seen
actually seen
anyone slip
anyone
on a
slip
banana skin.
on a banana skin.
Very good. What do we mean by onomatopoeia? What do we mean by onomatopoeia? By
By
onomatopoeia,
onomatopoeia,
by onomatopoeia,
by
we
onomatopoeia,
mean the
we mean
connection
the
between the
connection
sound
between the
and
sound
meaning of a word.
and meaning of the word.
Ragged, give me an example. Give me an example, please. The car crashed
The car crashed
into the traffic
into
lights
the traffic
and
lights
broke them.
and broke him.
Ragged, he crushed the piece of
He
paper
crushed the piece of
in
paper
his hand
in his
and
hand
threw it in the bin.
and threw it in the bin.
Right, if you heard a crashing sound outside your house in the middle of the night, would you get up and go out to see what had happened? If you heard a crashing sound outside your house in the middle of the night, would you get up and go out to see what had happened? Yes or no?
Mm. Oh, yes.
If I heard
If
a
I
crashing
heard
sound
a crashing
outside
sound
my house,
outside
in the middle,
in the
outside
middle
my house,
outside my
in
house
the middle of the
in the
night,
middle of the night,
I'd get up
I'd get
and
up
go out to
and
see
go out to
what
see
had happened.
what had happened.
Very good. Okay, next. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're crushing a
You are
piece of
crushing a
paper
piece of
in your
paper
hand.
in your hand.
Do you enjoy splashing? Oh, do young children enjoy splashing each other in swimming pools? Do young children enjoy splashing each other in swimming pools? Yes, young
Yes,
children
young
enjoy
children
splashing each
enjoy
other
splashing each
in swimming
other
pools.
in swimming pools.
Very good. Okay, and that's the end of our revision. Let's have
Hmm.
new work.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, repeat saucer,
Saucer,
tablecloth.
tablecloth.
Very good. Okay, listen. Okay, here we go. Tablecloth is a noun. It is a
Hmm.
cloth used to cover a table during a meal.
Hmm. Hmm.
Saucer is a noun. It is a small round dish that you put a cup on. We
Hmm.
use saucer to stand a cup on in order to prevent any of the liquid that might collect round the bottom of a cup getting onto the table or tablecloth and leaving a mark. Let's
Hmm.
practice. What do we use a saucer for? What do we use a saucer for? We use a saucer
We use
to
a
stand a
saucer
cup
to
on
stand a cup
in
on
order to
in
prevent
order to
any
prevent
of the liquid
any of
that
the
might
liquid
collect
that might
round the
collect
bottom of the cup
round the bottom of the
getting onto the
getting
table
onto the
or
table
tablecloth
or
and
tablecloth
leaving a mark.
and leaving a mark.
Very good. Next, repeat file.
File.
Known.
No.
Very good. Okay, listen, file is a noun. For example,
Mm-hmm.
computer files. Documents are also called files.
Mm-hmm.
Known is an adjective. A known person means known to many people. Let's
Mm-hmm.
practice. Do the police store files of known criminals to help them fight crime? Do the police store files of known criminals to help them fight crime? Yes. The police
Yes.
store
The
files
police store file
on known criminals
on known
to
criminals
help them fight
to
crime.
help them by crime.
Wait, do you manage to keep all the files on your computer carefully organized? Do you manage to keep all the files on your computer carefully organized? Yes or no?
No,
I don't manage
I don't
to
manage
keep all the
to keep
files
all the
on files
files
on my computer
on my computer
carefully organized.
carefully organized.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Fade.
Fade.
Sunlight.
Sunlight.
Very good. Okay, listen. Fade is a verb. To fade
Mm-hmm.
means to lose color. For
Mm-hmm.
example, if we wash our clothes heavily almost every day, the color of the cloth would surely fade.
Mm-hmm.
Sunlight means light from the sun. For example,
Mm-hmm.
sunlight can make the color fade too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's practice. What makes the color in cloth fade? What makes the color in cloth fade? Sunlight and washing
Sunlight
can
and
make the
washing
color
can make a
in cloth
color
fade.
in clothes a fade.
Very good. Next, do up,
Do up,
undo,
undo,
undone,
undone,
zip,
zip,
knot.
knot.
Very good. Okay, listen. Zip means zipper. Do up
Mm-hmm.
is a phrasal verb. To do up
Mm-hmm.
means to fasten with zips or buttons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do up also means to zip. Undo is a
Mm-hmm.
verb. It means to open. It's the opposite of do up. For example, zips
Mm-hmm.
are quicker to do up and undo.
Mm-hmm.
Another meaning of undo is to change or stop the effect of something. For example,
Mm-hmm.
you already made a mistake and hurt someone's feelings. She couldn't take her words back anymore because she already had said it. She couldn't undo what
Mm-hmm.
she had done. Knot.
Mm-hmm.
The word knot is a noun. When we tie a rope to itself or something else, we
Mm-hmm.
form a knot.
Mm-hmm.
Undone is an adjective. It means not fastened or tied. For example,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't tie a knot tightly enough, it will eventually come undone. Let's
Mm-hmm.
practice. Which are quicker to do up and undo, zips or buttons? Which are quicker to do up and undo, zips or buttons? Zips
Mm-hmm.
are quicker
Tips are
to
quicker
do up and
to do
undo,
up and do
to do up and undo
to do up and do
than buttons.
than bottom.
Well, what happens to a knot if we don't tie it tightly enough? What happens to a knot if we don't tie it tightly enough? If we don't
Mm.
tie
If we
a
don't
knot
tie
tightly
a
enough,
knot tightly enough,
it will eventually
it will eventually
come undone.
come undone.
Well, which verb do we use to describe the feeling that somebody wishes they could undo an action that they've done? What verb do we use to describe the feeling that somebody wishes they could undo an action that they've done? We use the verb
We use the
regret
verb
to
regret
describe the
to
feeling
describe the
that
feeling
somebody wishes
that somebody
they
wishes
could undo an
they could
action
undo an action
that they've done.
that they've done.
Very good. Next, repeat regain
Regain
consciousness.
consciousness.
Very good. Again, listen, regain is a verb. To regain means to
Mm.
get someone or to get something again. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I was tired all day, so I slept early
Mm.
last night. Today I regained my strength. Okay, so
Mm.
consciousness is a noun. It is the normal
Mm-hmm.
state of being awake and able to understand what is happening around you. For
Mm-hmm.
example, after playing football, the player fainted. It took him
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes to regain his consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's practice. When
Mm-hmm.
someone faints, how long does it usually take for them to regain consciousness? When someone
Mm-hmm.
faints, how long does it usually take for them to regain consciousness? When
Mm-hmm.
someone faints,
When someone
it
faints,
usually takes
it
about
usually takes about
like
mm,
2 minutes
two
to
minutes
regain their
to
consciousness.
regain their consciousness.
Very
Mm.
good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, so our reading starts at stage 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stage 7 and the paragraph page 571. Last headword was
Mm-hmm.
ring. Okay, please start at paragraph page 572, idiom 7.
Idiom 7. Okay.
Hmm.
Round the bend. Oh, what does the idiom round the bend mean? The idiom round the bend means is mad.
Mad,
Give
very
me
good.
an example, please. All this work is driving me around the bend.
Next, indirect
Indirect
speech.
speech. Oh, indirect speech with questions, imperatives, and
Request.
request.
Very good.
What do we do when we change a question from direct into indirect speech? When we change a question from direct into indirect speech, we move the verb one step back into the past. We use asked instead of said, and we do not use the question from or a question mark. Give me an example, please. I asked them what they wanted to drink. If the question does not contain a question word, what do we use instead? If the question does not contain a question word, we use the word if or whether instead. Give me an example, please. He asked her if she spoke English. Now I will ask you some questions and I want you to tell me what I said. How old are you? You asked me how old I was. Do your parents speak English? You asked me if my parents spoke English. Can you play the piano? You asked me if I could play the piano. Imperative, command. What do we do when we change an imperative from direct into indirect speech? When we change an imperative from direct into indirect speech, we use told, commanded, or ordered, and we use the infinitive with to instead of the imperative. Give me an example, please. The king commanded him to leave. With negative imperatives, what do we do? With negative imperatives, we put not before the infinitive. Give me an example, please. His mom told him not to get home late. Don't look at you. Now I will give you some orders, and I want to tell me what I said.
Mhm.
Stand up. You told me to stand up. Don't look at your book. You ordered me not to look at my book. Correct your
Dictation.
dictations. You told me to correct my dictations. Request. Or what do we do when we change a request from direct into indirect speech? When we change a request from direct into indirect speech, we use asked and we can use the same constructions that we use for indirect questions or imperatives. Give me an example, please. We asked them if they could show us the way, or We asked them to show us the way.
Very good. Okay, so we